We will be back in some form.
We have an army of digital soldiers, because this was an insurgency.
Hundreds dead, thousands infected across multiple continents.
You guys know what this represents?
All the people that have gone out there against the mainstream media and said, you're going to call us racist, you're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs, you are.
All right. I hope you Patriots out there ready to kick ass, take names. Welcome to the party, folks. The PatriotPartyNews.com. I'm your host, CHAS Carter, better known as Underground Patriot, live from the Wolf Den, folks. Oh yeah. Get ready. It's on and popping. Buckle up, Buttercup. That's all I can tell you. Tonight's show is going to be one for the ages. And you guys might want to start grabbing your pencil, grab your pen, and you might want to listen to what some of these folks have to say. It's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. I'll tell you, we've got the awesome Mike Penny, Stoney Stone, I Am Who I Am Patriot. We got Net4Truth in the house tonight. And we will have also Dallas and hopefully TRINA. And maybe a couple of others might be joining in. Tonight's going to be a huge night. So with us being with so many people and so much to cover, I'm just going to cover the website. I want to talk about the event we are having, and also, of course, Mike Penny will be speaking at this event. This is the very first PPN event, Nashville, Tennessee. I'm going to put the link in the chat so everybody can have it and get set up. We're cutting this thing off at 3,000 people for right now. And if we have to, we have the opportunity to expand to go to 10,000 as a cap. Okay. I will tell you, it's going to be limited seating. So, if we feel like we're solid with 3,000 and we don't want to go any more than we want, and we'll just cut it off and we'll all together. But I would encourage you guys, if you haven't, big ones line up, little ones gang up. Y'all need to come on and see all these awesome Patriots. We're going to have on Friday night, the Pastor Greg Locke will be speaking on the 28th, January 28th. And then also we're going to have everybody, like I said, from Mike Penny, the original Mark Z is going to be coming as well. We're working out the details potentially with Dr. Charlie Ward from what we've been discussing. And of course, you've seen on the lives as well. Maybe Mel K, maybe Simon Parks. And I'm trying to sweet talk Gene Decode. Okay, so that's been a mission within itself. Gene has just recently became a free agent due to his statuses in the past. So that's a mission within itself. But guys, again, here is the Everbright link. I just put it in the chat. Admins, if you wouldn't mind, you can copy and paste that throughout the show so people can have quick access to it. Tickets are $30, free sale. That's it. Nothing else to it. We'll have food trucks, which, obviously, that it's not including food. It's just including general admission only to be able to come into the event. But we're going to have unbelievable entertainment. We're working out something potentially with Kid Rock. We're also working out something with other entertainers. Again, nothing set in stone. But I promise you this, it is going to be something unheard of that as the Patriot movement has been needing for an extremely long period of time. So That being said, guys, this is our website. This is the PatriotPartyNews.com. This is where all the cool cats go to get their daily bread. Click on the top banner, the #1 pro-patriot social media platform out there, PatriotShoot.com. You can sign up for free. Check it out, 30-day trial, and you'll see the difference here. And by the way, just to let everyone know, we have applied for the beta program for Truth Social with Trump Media. And so we're looking at getting that wrapped up, hopefully. And when that happens, hold back nothing, because it's going to be incredible. So, all right, cool. So let's go ahead and bring in our awesome guests for tonight. Let's see here. I'm going to try to unlock some things. There we go. All right. Let's see here. Everybody's trying to call me right when I'm trying to bring everybody in. What's up with that? Got also Mike Penny in the house. Got Net4Truth in the house.
Hey.
Yeah. And I got Stoney Stone in the house.
Hey, everybody.
Full house here. Good to have everybody. We got more joining us. It's going to be off the chain. Gentlemen, you guys are something else, let me tell you. Mike,
Sorry,
reached
Chad.
out. No, you're good. Mike reached out to me and was saying, listen, we've got to get this out. And I want to tie it into your YouTube as well, Mike, to be real with you, in front of everybody while we're broadcasting. So we'll get the best of both worlds, but we'll figure that out. That won't be a problem. But I just want to say, can you guys keep up with everything that is being thrown out there right now? And the word on the street is we're here. This is where we're at.
Yeah, we're here and we ain't going nowhere. I like that.
Amen on that. Mike, what's your thoughts?
My thoughts, man, I appreciate, first off, CHAS, your hospitality and sharing with everybody through your channel tonight. You know, we're going through a time, as everybody knows, that's one of the greatest times to be alive. And there's a difference between truth and facts, although they carry the same weight depending on who's looking at them. But the truth comes from God and the facts come from man. Okay? And understand that when you put the two together, it's a beautiful thing, and people learn and see the ability they have to learn what's really going on based on their faith, so they get the truth.
Yep.
And we got people like Stoney Dave and I Am Who I Am Patriot that can share the facts. And it all just lines up beautifully, and it's raising the vibration of everybody that's taking part in it, CHAS. So, you know, a big thank you for that. And PPN, Patriot Party News. I look forward to speaking at the event. Let me say that before we get started with tonight's stuff. And my next question is, CHAS, tell us about that picture behind you right quick.
Well, I knew it would grab a lot of people's attention. But this picture that's back here behind us, this is in the Gaza Strip. Now, I think this was a pic that was taken a while back. I don't think it's current necessarily, but I know there's some current ones there. They're serious. So y'all are probably like, oh, no. I don't claim to know it all at all, because it's moving so rapidly. That's why it's very important to network with other patriots. So we're all, you know, hey, this is what I heard over here. Hey, Mike, what are you hearing? Stoney, what are you hearing? What are you hearing? And for Dave, what are you hearing? You know? And we all have our sources. We all do our very best to vet to the best of our ability. Okay? No one's perfect. I've made mistakes. I'm sure everyone on here has made mistakes, and people and our sources have made mistakes. But that's part of learning, and that's what we try to do. So, on that.
All right, so basically, guys, to start out with tonight, we're gonna dive in deep in on what is holding up the RV and who. Okay, I will start out lightly by telling you, just here in North Carolina, there is 3 grocery store chains, a couple of doctors' offices, and a hospital that have had their payroll hacked, their payroll systems hacked. Okay. And it's not happening from within the country. It's happening from outside the country. Okay, it's even happening on a grander scale than just some payroll systems being hacked. The SWIFT system itself has been hacked, and the all fingers are pointing to Israel. And we all know Q said Israel will be the last to come down. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we're talking about Israel, the nation state. Okay, the 1% of Jews that are definitely not Jews, and they're the bad guys. All right. There is a ton happening between Iran and Israel. All right. The RV obviously kicks off in Iran. We all know that. Well, why isn't it kicking off? Because Iran's too busy kicking Israel's ass for hacking their financial system and stopping the RV. All right. Those are the facts, and the truth comes right along with it. This will be biblical, guys. We're leading into not only the big scare event, and this is not to add any fear to anybody, but potential for real war to break out, okay? We've had reports from Syria. CHAS shared that with his team. We've had some reports from Syria, about a 4-minute clip of telltale signs of what's going on, and they were bombing the crap out of each other already, from what I heard in the clip. Is that correct, Chaz?
Yes, sir. 100%. Absolutely.
There's all kinds of activity going on also in the Russia-Ukraine border. Okay, we know, and Bannerstill's shared it in the Dallas event that she was at this weekend. With some patriots, that soldiers have been deployed from Germany. U.S. soldiers have been deployed from Germany to the Ukraine-Russia border, and they were told potentially they may not be coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, again, guys, stay away from fear. All right, do not open the fear door. We are to pray. All right, about this. Okay, we're going to shed some more light on that as well along the way. And then we got our own country. Guys, if you listen to Monkey Works, if you listen to anybody that can report the aircraft movement, there is a ton of aircraft movement over San Francisco and California. All right? It's military aircraft at that. There is reported that a aircraft carrier is taking position off the California coast. All right? Well, anybody knows, or anybody you may not know actually, that submarines come along with that. And reportedly, 2 submarines that are capable of creating the tidal wave.
Yep.
Okay. San Francisco is depicted in a Mr. Pool drop. I mean, I'm just connecting dots really fast right now, guys. So if you catch any questions in the chat, Chaz, just let me know.
Absolutely.
All right? So that potential is there for the tidal wave. It's going to cleanse San Francisco. Okay. It is under a lot of scrutiny from all of us, trying to make sure they're evacuating, which we believe they are. And they're just going to cleanse San Francisco that way. That belongs to also bringing Piglosi into the scene. Along with the loss of Flashbang and Heels Up Harris. Flashbang is what we give Biden nickname for Monkey Works. And Heels Up Harris, who are going to disappear here shortly. Timeline, I couldn't tell you. I can tell you a lot of Patriots have speculated around the 15th. Well, today's the 14th. Okay? It could be go time with that. We don't know the timeline, guys. We don't know the date. But these things are going to happen, and it will be biblical. Stoney, you ready?
I'll tell you this.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
We're at 203,000 people right now. 203,000 people watching this worldwide right now. So please take it away. Everybody wants to hear this.
We have a lot more than that with my platforms. I think we should be close to 400,000.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're doing pretty good. So we're actually getting the word out, and there is a lot going on that people are not seeing. And we said last night into this morning, I continuously said, if you did not see this show today, you need to, and you need to tell everybody, because this is going to be a bombshell show. And I don't know if IM can hear me. I texted him a couple of times saying, mute your mic. I hear a little bit of background noise. Do you guys hear it too? Mute your mic.
I hear
on
a little
streamer.
Hissing, but that's probably me.
No, he got it.
There
All
you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There it is. Now it's clean. People were saying that. Anyways, but yeah, while I'm still finalizing and setting up everything here, I got it up and running, and I had to switch, a bunch of settings because, they don't want me to speak, or none of us. So, Mike, Dave, or IM, if you guys want to jump in and kind of tell what you know about the ships and the 70 ships that are off the shore of California, like the cargo ships is what I'm hearing, but there's submarines involved in this. Am I right, Mike?
Absolutely, you're very right.
Yes. I have.
Let me do this before we get started, guys. I'd like for everybody watching to take a moment and take a serious deep breath, okay? And maybe even close your eyes for a second and center yourself, okay? This is not to add any fear to you, okay? This is to make you aware so that we're all prepared for what is coming, okay? Having that knowledge is supposed to help you keep at peace. Just take it to God, especially if you're struggling with it. Take it to God first. And I promise you'll find peace in that. All right? Stoney, go ahead.
So we have some of our team. I am really is in tune with this, so I want to bring IM in, and everybody welcome him to the channel. He's been on one time with us yesterday. He's a great person and a great researcher. So IM, go ahead and unmute your mic and kind of explain what we're seeing happening, and we'll all jump in and bounce off of you.
All right. Hello, guys.
Hey,
we got a lot of stuff that is going on today. Interest rates return. They're not going to do a debt relief. They're going to actually forgive interest rates that we paid from childhood all the way back up. They will put this money in your digital wallet. That's the $10,000 monthly return. How we'll see our money coming back to us from all the interest rates that they stole from us through things. Today we've had Texas wants to form a militia. They want their own militia. It'll be the second state. Florida was the first. Now Texas is the second. Mr. Post, watch Iran. Iran is going to be very volatile here in the future. FISA warrants are going to be really big coming up very soon. The submarines, which Mike Penny's already talked about, that's a hot topic right now with the submarines and the naval ships. We just got an aircraft carrier located on the West Coast. That's huge. Project Veritas will be releasing a child porn video tomorrow. Kansas Owens and President Donald Trump will have an interview posting out next week. And on a lighter note, Kroger's is now going to start charging us for being unvaccinated. So they're going to add a payment or a fee to our grocery bill because we're unvaccinated. So, that was my hit list.
we've got some viewers that are wanting, if you wouldn't mind, I am expand on the 5,000 and 10,000. Robin Strickland was wanting to know a little bit more about that.
Can I say something real fast? Yesterday, somebody that we had on our platform actually showed a deposit into their account that was not waiting for a deposit of any sort. Just one of our researchers actually got a bonus for their Social Security like 3 or 4 days ago, and we showed it last night.
Deposits. I saw it on your show. I saw where you were putting that. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah,
me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're
go ahead and share on the 5,000, 10,000.
All right. So when we research, we're looking at 3 different sources or more. We'd love more, more sources, the more truth. So we've got 3 good sources that are talking that interest rate, the debt relief can't happen, basically because you'd be part of stealing money from banks, and that would be illegal. So they think what they're going to do is now they're going to switch and say, okay, we can't really do debt relief, so every interest payment on credit cards, home loans, anything you've done, student loans, all that, the interest rate was illegal for the banks to do. So therefore, we're going to give you back every piece of interest that you paid from childhood all the way back. Now, this is going to be a great undertaking to have to calculate who paid what, where, and when. This is going to be monumental, but it seems logical, right? We don't want to be thieves, but yeah, we've been paying illegal interest from day one. So I think it's a great idea. I'm ready for wait a minute. Sorry.
Let me add. We do not know. We do know that.
Don't cut the blue wire. I am. Do not cut the blue wire.
That was weird.
I got it.
Well, that was wild. Do not cut the blue wire, bro.
You got it.
Call Dave the grab the pliers.
All right, so let me.
You haven't heard my ringtone.
Things to it.
Everybody, get back. He's fixing to cut the blue wire.
Have made. I'm sitting back again. We're about to have another picture like behind CHAS, behind I am.
Well, it says that bank robbery is illegal, but how about what the bank's been doing to us all these years? Isn't that illegal too?
Well, of course.
I think that decisions will be made along the way. I think the decisions will be made along the way because they have also proven that the contract language doesn't fit being lawful in the credit apps for mortgages, cars, personal loans, yada, yada, yada. So I think that we'll hear a more definitive decision about that later on. I think, there's some cut to the chase and let's get things started. What they're talking about with just interest rates. Not to mention that inflation is also added into your mortgage rate, your mortgage, and all that stuff is going away as well. So if they don't get rid of mortgages and car loans, yada yada yada, then they have to take into account all the illegal inflation that was created by the Federal Reserve and robbed from us, as well as the illegal interest rates from the cabal banking system. And so there's a lot of complexity to what we're talking about, but it's time to get the ball rolling. And I think that's where they chose to get the ball rolling at. Does that sound far-fetched?
No, you're spot on.
How does
You're
the
spot
new
on.
money? How does the new money fit into all of this? Because about 4 years ago, I heard that there was new currency already printed up and up in a Indian reservation somewhere in Utah. And when they pulled this reset, so to speak, they were going to make U.S. currency non-legal tender, and then everybody was holding currency, like the billions that Trader 44 sent over to Iran, and all the money that the drug cartels are holding, all the money that's laundered through child trafficking, through offshore banks and all this stuff, all of that money will become worthless. And it cannot be converted. It can't be washed, because who would convert money that's absolutely, totally, 100% worthless? The only use you have for it is one of two things: either wallpaper your walls or stitch it together into a roll of toilet paper, because that would put an end to all this corruption, in my view, in one fell swoop. It would be done. All of this would be done. They would have no more money.
There'll be a period.
No more money to pay judges off. No more money to do nothing.
Well, there's two things there, Dave. You said a mouthful for sure. Along with I am. There's two things there. Yeah, we all have to understand they thought she would never lose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there will be an exchange period where you can exchange the fiat currency for the new rainbow currency. All right.
What Dave calls quatlu.
There will be an exchange period, dollar for dollar.
Dave calls it quatlu. Whatever. That's the new currency.
And speaking of quatlus, the quaddle went dead too. I don't want to change the subject, but the Qs, the quals, whatever you want to call them, that we both have crypto in, that seem to kind of like go over the wayside.
Hey, what about the company Tether? Have you guys heard about Tether? What's happened with them? They were a huge cryptocurrency conglomerate. They are now being sued by the federal government in the courts up in right there beside Nashville. It's kind of interesting. It's right there by the UN. It's all wrapped up. We're hearing about if you guys saw the Joe Rogan show with McCullough. Dr. McCullough was on the Joe Rogan show, and they were talking. It piggybacks on what you were just talking about, Mike, about Hillary. They're planning on Hillary winning, no question about it, because they were planning on doing this to us in 2025. They sped it up because of Trump. They sped it up. The pandemic is what they sped up. And he talked about it plain as day through Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan was kind of sitting there and he was breaking in. We all know they had the patents in 2015, if not before. They had the VARS playbook that they're going and they're running it step by step, plain and simple. It all ties in together, everything we're discussing here. And it's kind of amazing that we even have to even talk like this because our mainstream media that so many people believe is the gospel is leading them to the incinerator, just like they did in Nazi Germany.
Absolutely. Yep, you're right.
It's scary.
Hey, one thing I want to say.
Yes, absolutely. It is. Listen, the Bitcoin situation is really going to come to life here in the coming days as well, because that's also a part of the RV holdup. All right, the blockchain has been corrupted. That's why you need to pay attention to the coins that are going to survive this mess, that are XRP. Okay, there's 2 or 3 coins, maybe more now, but that are in proper placement and have the proper backing, which is gold back, to continue on. The rest of it is like CHAS is saying, companies like Tether and all are having those lawsuits pop up. I personally believe we'll hear more about it. The remaining faction of those that weren't into Three Gorges dams that are still in China trying to maintain operation. You know, those were all CIA controlled. A lot of people won't know that. A lot of people won't say that, but those are the facts. All right. The CIA knew Bitcoin was going to do, so let's corrupt it along with the fiat currency. If some of it stays, then we haven't lost yet.
Amen.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I have no faith in crypto whatsoever. Cryptocurrency is fiat currency without the currency. It's just, you know, if you have $10,000 in the bank and you go on your phone app and you find out that now your bank is your account is zero, at least you have a brick and mortar place to go down and say, hey, what happened to my money? You know what I mean? But if you got $10,000 in crypto, and all of a sudden it goes, you know, say you got it in Bitcoin, who are you going to go see? Satoshi? You can't do nothing.
Exactly.
Same thing with this coin that about a year ago, Stoney turned me on to this thing. It was initially called Initiative Q. Then they changed it to Qual. And you had 30 invites that you could send out to people, and they would get 2,000 Qs or whatever they want to call them. And I went from nothing to 105,000 quals in about 48 hours. And so did my niece. And so did her son.
Yeah, I did too.
And now you log on, it says, oh, we didn't meet the demand, and blah, blah, blah. And we're trying to figure out how to meet the demand. Well, give me more invites that I can get on a platform like this and say, hey, why don't you buy some Initiative Q, Quatlus, whatever it is you want to call it, and we'll get this thing off the ground immediately. But they said, well, no more invites. You used up 30 of your invites. I could sign up 5,000 people if I had the invites, but I have absolutely no faith in quals or Qs or Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of that. I got a couple of $100 tied up in Ethereum. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. But you know,
it's like
it's
the
an
stock
investment.
market.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like the stock
But
market.
there's no brick and mortar, like Dave said. There's no brick and mortar to go complain.
Well,
I worked on
there's
Wall
no
Street 15
gold
years.
backing either, which is where we're going.
Yep, exactly.
There's
You're
no
right,
gold
Mike.
backing on a lot of it, which is where we're going. That adds a brick and mortar feature to it when you got the gold backing.
I got another example real fast, not to change the subject.
Go ahead.
But I got another one. It's kind of like if you have an issue with your platform on one of these social media sites that we use, there is physically, if you have an issue, there is physically nobody you could speak to, even though there's a brick and mortar. You can't call somebody and say, hey, I'm having technical difficulties, and it's your side. There is none. There's nobody you can contact. There's no number. So when they do what they do on social media, it's the same idea as what Dave's talking about. There's just no people. It's all automated. All of it's automated. So the automation, all you got to do is just take the automation down and do away with the company. So it's dangerous when you're putting your money, even though it grows and you earn, it's dangerous to put your money into certain things that you just don't quite understand the gist of it, in my opinion. And I know a little bit about crypto as well. It's scary.
Like I was saying, I worked on Wall Street 15 years. And even back in the 80s, the stock market was a big video game. I'll give you an example. Bear Stearns had a whole floor of computers. And all they did when they came to work that day is try to figure out who's going to win the Super Bowl. Why? Because 30 out of 31 times when the NFL won, it was a bull market, and when the AFL won, it was the bear market or some stupid, idiotic thing like that. And all these guys came and watched football games all day and watched reruns and talking about, oh, when the moon was full and it was raining and the temperature was 84 degrees and what's his name was wearing black underwear with a number on his side. I mean, stuff that had absolutely nothing to do with who won but that's what they did.
Well, I can tell you right now, without getting too far away from where we're headed, because we got to stay on topic for the most part. I just wanted to jump in and give that little bit. But this is the thing. Be careful what you put your money in. But it is coming. This is the way that it's going to generate. And this is what we're going to have to use. And this is. So be very selective and get on board with the ones you know that you trust. Do the background, do the research, and find out before you dump it. Because your money can move. One day you can have 1,000, the next day you got 50. So just be very careful with it.
Got a question real quick. So
Absolutely.
Warren typed in, he said, I've always thought that maybe the blockchain would be fine since it was set up on Starlink in the quantum financial system. What y'all's thoughts on that?
The blockchain is going to be fine. What's set up inside the blockchain is not fine.
Exactly how I felt about this. It's not the Starlink or the blockchain that the problem is. It's the people creating it on the outside. ROM and Sphere is what the problem is. Say me, you, Dave, and I am, and we all get together and we build a brand new crypto and we get it out there. We are the holders of the majority. As long as people use it, it grows. If people don't use it, it doesn't take off. But if we decide, well, we got 800 million of our own cryptos and we're just going to be done with this whole thing, we shut it down, we take all that money and the crypto's worth nothing, but we pocket and walk. That's what I've seen happen with a lot of these. So be very careful what you choose, even if they offer it and you're not happy with it. Pick your own crypto like you pick your own insurance company for your health insurance. You're going to look into them, see what the company's all about, and make sure you got good insurance and you're getting on board with good insurance. Make sure that you pick your crypto the same way, because that's your livelihood as well as it is the doctors you choose. Make sure your doctors in the PPO or the HMO, make sure that's covered with this insurance, or you got to switch. Get the right one. That's all I have to say. Go ahead, Mike. Just be careful. Use caution. That's it.
Once the blockchain is added to the quantum financial system, it'll be one of the most secure things out there.
Yes, it will.
And corruption won't find its way in there. Right. And unfortunately, it's not like that now, and that's the problem they're trying to resolve. And it's one heck of a problem, because crypto, as you may all have seen or may not know, either way, has soared. And like Stoney just said, which is actual truth, people have made a lot of money and walked away with their people who own the coins from them don't have nothing.
Yep, absolutely. Look, anybody can make a cryptocurrency, so just be careful that you're with the right wallets and the right crypto providers. That's about all I had to say. But we can move on whenever you guys are ready, because this is taking too much time.
Let's get into these military things.
Absolutely.
You ready?
Let's go.
I'm glad to see several people in the chat, CHAS, and everybody watching. They're asking, that we pray for our military and they're able to keep safe as well. Cause
Lord, put your head over.
These untrying times for them.
We got real quick. We got a couple of veterans.
They're there to make the sacrifice on our behalf.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly right.
We got a couple of military vets on panel right now. Actually, Dave's ex-military, and I is a disabled vet, a homeless disabled vet. Believe it or not. Yeah.
We appreciate y'all's service. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, sure do.
Thank you.
But if you want. If you want, we can jump back into it. And I know and I'm sure we all know a little bit about it, but is one of our researchers that literally specialize in just a broad area. And if we give him a direction, he will dive into it as deep as he can. So who do you want to jump in? Because I know knows quite a bit about what's happening with this military stuff.
He spoke a little bit about what was going on in the Israeli newspapers, what they were reporting on their side. Yep. We know what Syria and Jordan have said, as we've seen that. You want to pick it up about that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yesterday's intel off the Israeli and Iranian newspapers. Israel is targeting 40 underground facilities in Iran. Iran turns around and says, okay, if you're going to do that, we're targeting your nuclear facility.
Mm-hmm.
So they're basically, playing chicken with each other, saying they're going to target these different facilities. You have Russia, who basically is shut down the Ukraine gas pipeline. Okay, we all know that the Ukraine pipeline is stock owned by Pelosi and Biden and all the rest of them in our government. So Russia's helping us to shut that pipeline down and keeping that oil from getting to the United States and putting us back. That's why we opened up the reserves, and we're now seeing gas prices are in hold. Okay. Also, the story goes that a lot of that gas reserve was actually sold to China. I'm not seeing that right now. I think that's actually a false flag. It's like, they put that out there to piss somebody off or whatever. But as long as the gas prices are staying marginal, I think the White Hats are in control. Okay, that's what I'm watching. Mr.
And
Post,
just to throw something in there, the 50 million gallons that trader in the White House, or the fake White House, released, that is supposedly only a half of a day of what we use here in this country. So 50 million gallons, barrels or gallons or whatever it is that he released is like a teaspoon in the ocean. And taking it out of the reserves, a lot of people don't realize that those reserves are there for the military, in case we get bombed and the refineries get bombed. The refineries that we haven't built in 40 years get bombed. That the military has fuel to work on. That's how the Nazis got defeated in Africa. They just cut off their gas. They couldn't run no tank if you don't have no gas.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this stuff, increasing the gas prices, kills the economy, and then they come around and they beg Russia and they beg Saudi Arabia to decrease the prices of oil. Well, if you want to decrease the prices of oil, why are you on your knees to those camel jockeys where all you have to do is continue the pipeline? Mm-hmm. This is not a matter of stupidity. This is a matter of absolute demonic genius planning to destroy this country. And as soon as people wake up and find that out, the better off we'll be.
Amen.
Amen, Dave. You couldn't have said it better. Woo, you're dead on, brother.
And remember, guys,
it just got hot in here.
It's getting hot in here, isn't it? It's going to get a little hotter for me.
Remember, President Trump has shown us that we can be oil independent.
Absolutely.
We have everything. We don't need foreign oil.
Mm-hmm.
When Trump is in office, we were exporting oil. Okay? It's there. We're ready to go at a moment's notice to flip that switch back on. This is all theater. Okay? Back to Iran and Israel, why they're pissing down each other's leg, at the same time they're trying to pull in the U.S. embassy to get involved in the middle of it. So what you've got going on worldwide is they're trying to stage World War III, which won't be World War III, actually World War IV. Taking down Russia was World War III in the economy of the old Soviet Union. We're looking at World War IV or V, but they're trying to, on every front, they're trying to start something. I don't think that any side has, if you start a war, like Dave was saying, you don't have the resources, you don't have the supply chains, you don't have the food. Food militaries run on food and the supply chain to keep them going, ammunition, gas, fuel, everything. A war, no, it ain't going to happen. Okay, and at the same time, we know the nukes. There is no nukes. Okay, they can shoot off ICBMs, but it's all gunpowder, explosives, bunker buster bombs, those kind of things. Nukes are gone. Nukes will be taken off this planet because realistically, we can't get rid of the residuals off of a nuclear contaminants. You can't bury it. You can't dump it in the ocean. You can't do anything with it. We have to stop that as a society and as humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, what we can do is make ammunition out of it and shoot it all over the place in Afghanistan like they did. And then when the soldiers come back home glowing in the dark, complaining that they're getting sick, the VA tells them, oh, it's all in your head, and they send them to a psychiatrist. And my friend Art Bernklau, God rest his soul, who went down to Washington, D.C. for 6 months and did the research, found out that Gulf War illness, what they used to call it, was really depleted uranium poisoning. And he had a hand truck full of paperwork. He had 2 German short-haired pointers that crapped in his backyard. And he used to go out with a pooper scooper and pick up the dog poop and put it in a box. And every Friday he'd go down to UPS and send dog shit with his business card poked into it, hoping that they would arrest him for sending, poop to all inspector, who was the advisor to the VA or something. And his lawyer would ask him, hey, Mr. Bernklau, why did you send dog poop to all inspector for the last 3 years? And he would answer by bringing in a hand cart that proved that the VA hired 800 lawyers to circle jerk these veterans around who came home sick and were looking to get compensated, and to the point where they either got frustrated or gave up or died of their injuries. They found that out, proved it. And I'm one of the crazy sons of bitches who wrote one of the amicus briefs that passed Senate Bill 3421. And if you don't know, some veterans who don't know what that is, if you get jerked around by the VA, you do not have to go through their appeals process. What you do is you go down to your local federal district court and you file a notice of intent. That'll cost you $200 or $300 or whatever the filing fee is in your area. And you file it against the Veterans Administration, and they will bend over backwards to settle out of court with you because they do not want that case on the books. They do not want that case to appear in a Lexus search because that would set precedent. And this has been going on for years. This is nothing new. Okay? So if you get run around by the VA, do what I'm telling you. I guarantee you will get satisfied with the result. Trust me.
So what David's saying in a nutshell, for those of you who don't speak Dave, what he's saying in a nutshell is that the military sign up to go for the ultimate sacrifice in our own country, in taxpayers' names, treat them like shit and never really take care of them in the first place.
That's right.
Yes, they do.
All right.
For the ones that don't speak Dave, I love that.
If not, kill them all for half. and or have them kill themselves more recently.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of military with PTSD.
Yes.
And they're killing themselves by the dozens.
Yes.
And nothing is being said or done in our country. We can't keep operating like that, guys. We cannot keep operating like that. Go ahead, IM, finish up.
I wanted to just allude to, Dave taught me that 800 lawyers were hired by the VA against us. And I've been through the disability process 32 times. And since I was denied the first time, I've been denied every one after that because my military medical records were deleted. So you can't win. There's no way to win. It was all geared against us. So I just want to let other veterans know this is what we're dealing with.
Deleted? I've got to ask. Really? That's
yeah.
Yeah. So
Oklahoma City bombing.
Worse. Yep. There you go. Here we go. Buckle your seatbelt, Chas.
I'm ready.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I am. Tell him.
Do you want me to go down that rabbit hole?
I do.
Yes, sir.
I'm an
yes, sir.
Absolutely. Yes, we do. If you want to speak, we want you. We want them to know. Tell the world exactly what happened.
I'll drop
the veterans themselves
the knowledge.
Relatives and their friends.
There's a ton of veterans that are watching right now. By the way, I mean we've got we got thousands of veterans. I can tell you right now are watching us right now. They want to hear.
Okay. I started researching before Q started. I was researching my condition and what was happening to me because my body was attacking itself. You know, I was throwing up in the runs and everything. I was doing the Gallatin Steel job, programming, and I'm an automation controls engineer. And I couldn't figure it out. I was like, what the hell is going on? And going to the regular hospitals, nobody could give me an answer, da-da-da. Finally, my boss says, you're a veteran. Why don't you try the VA? I said, oh, yeah, okay. So that's the worst mistake I ever made in my life is going to the VA. They actually did several tests on me for 3 to 5 years. Never found anything, just let me suffer. I kept trying to work and kept trying to do everything, and my body was just turning on myself. It was eating itself inside out. You know, I went from 220 pounds down to 167, I think, at the low. Got to where I couldn't move. My body was locking up. I was going paralyzed at different times. And pain was just absolutely incredible. I lost so much, and my stomach was just messing up. Now I don't eat. I just drink Ensure Pluses every day and drink sweet tea. That's how I stay alive. So in my research, I figured out that my military medical records were deleted. So I want to know how that happened. So I started tracking and tracing. I ended up at the Oklahoma City bombing, the Merle Federal Building. 450,000 veterans that had the anthrax jab were all deleted. We all were. You kept getting stories about, oh, your stuff was burned up in St. Louis, and this was that, and this was that. They never would trace it to Oklahoma City. But legitimately, that was part of the takedown of the Oklahoma City bombing. The other part of the takedown of the Oklahoma City bombing is all the investigative work on HRC, Hillary Clinton, the Clinton Foundation, and the Clinton family. It was all in there in the FBI offices. So, boom, trick 2. So when you start digging, you find out these truths, and you're like, holy crap, it's incredible.
Hey, I am just out of curiosity, talking about deletion of records. Did you know that Building 7 held the sequential records for the New York Stock Exchange ticker?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was
one
of the
plane that hit.
Yeah, the plane that hit nothing. Yeah. There was no planes.
Right.
Yeah. But the actual explosion was the financial system, the new QFS. It was there. It's been there the whole time. They've been taking it out as we go. Hopefully this time we actually get through this without a false flag that takes it out again. We just got to keep our eyes open and keep a watch on it. Before, nobody knew. Now we know. Okay. That's what all this is about, because we all know what they do, So we keep our eyes on it. and that's why we've all been awakened to do this work.
So
Go ahead.
Quick question.
Absolutely, and to respond to Elvis.
Yeah, thank you.
Elvis, Trump removed a lot of the bureaucracy, but not all of it. He couldn't get it all. He had to sacrifice moving on from it till he could get back to it. And trust me, that time is coming. We're going to see a whole new VA when it's time. But
yeah,
Eric Holder is right in the middle of all of it.
Mm-hmm. A lot of it, all of it, just about.
Yeah.
Under the sun.
All the this is another subject for another day, but the gun running that he did, all those guns that didn't make it across the border was in the Getty home in Hollywood, in Getty's home in Hollywood. You should have seen it in the news the day they pulled all that stuff out of his home.
Massive amounts of weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Alice out of Georgia, she said, "Oh, that makes perfect sense because her ex was exposed to when he was a medic in the military." Yeah.
Yep.
That's what they had to deal with as well, across the board. Hey, I don't know if you guys have been, if any of the damage of the storms, tornadoes that came and took place damaged any of your areas. I'm here to tell you, last night on our show, we showed the video of potentially HARP in action that caused the tornadoes. Tornadoes, we believe, were man-made. And the squadrons of, I guess, of this technology that were coming across the Pacific, we were showing that last night up close, and it's pretty wild. How, you got the white hats that have their system, you have the black hats that have their system. We can all agree that white hats are not going to deliberately hurt, maim, and kill human lives. I think we all can agree to that. Okay, obviously. So this was definitely a black hat type of operation with HARP. And I mean, I'm in Tennessee, and we got hit pretty good here with the tornadoes and so forth, and 50 miles from us. Heck, Warren, who I know some of you guys have met here on PPN, his cousin owned the plant in Kentucky that those 40 people died in. And we were finding out about that, and I know that a lot of people, see somebody popped in. Okay, I got it, yeah. So thank you, Stoney. I've got you plugged in.
Is that the ones you're talking about right there?
Yeah, that's one of them. I couldn't tell you the exact pictures, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a candle factory that they had, and it was they worked with a lot of conglomerates and so forth. But needless to say, yeah, right?
Crazy, right?
Yeah, it is crazy. It's totally crazy. What's crazier than that is being able to understand what they're trying to do and follow along. I mean, for heaven's sakes, gang, it's snowing in Hawaii. I went to a party for my wife's work, and all of them have been jabbed up. All of them have the bioweapon. Okay, she's the only one at her job that does not have the bioweapon. And the whole time, they were asking questions about the weather. And I asked them all. This is exactly what I asked them. I said, raise your hand if you've ever heard of it ever snowing in Hawaii. You can't. Raise your hand again if you've ever heard of Texas being frozen to the core and people dying because they didn't have any heat and ice and snow.
We had to go there.
Cars being
cut off.
Yep.
Cars being destroyed because they didn't have antifreeze in them.
Exactly.
Exactly. So, I mean, also, Chaz, did you hear about the weather balloon? There's 4 weather balloons up there too.
Yep.
Nobody really knew what they were doing except for we did notice through tracking them that they happened to show up in the area the tornadoes was in. Mm-hmm. So it's part of the manipulation of the storm from those weather balloons, and it's guided. I think found one off the coast of Florida recently that where it's foggy again and done by the weather balloon. So I mean, those weather balloons got something to do with it as well. I don't know if there was one involved in the snow in Hawaii, but go ahead.
Go ahead.
That was Sheepdog.
Yeah,
he found
Sheepdog.
the weather balloons.
That's
right. It was Sheepdog. That's right.
He's the one that keeps an eye on that stuff for us.
Yeah.
He sent me some pictures.
Yeah, I don't know if one was involved.
Go ahead.
I don't know if one was involved with the snow in Hawaii, but understand this: there is select few moves left with that type of stuff that the black hats have control of. Okay, and unfortunately, we have to draw them out in order to get the end game going, because it all has to be exposed and taken down.
Well, those weather balloons are at 70,000 feet, and they're actually going in a direction to where, out of the blue, they just switched direction and head completely in a different direction at 70,000 feet, 60 to 70,000 feet. Just wanted to add that. I did have a picture. Yeah, go ahead.
What we do know that weather balloon tracked the tornadoes exactly in the Midwest.
Yes.
Yep.
That can't be a coincidence.
Last night, one was the one that we were steady keeping an eye on. We call it steadying. That weather balloon was literally turned in direction to fly directly over to my house to head into Wisconsin. So it would have had to have made a pass right over my house to head to Wisconsin, which we got a little bit more information on it, but that's about what we can say right now because we don't know. We don't want to give up too much where they change direction again.
Exactly.
We're trying to keep an eye on it. So we're working on it. As soon as we get more details on it, you never know. I might just go live. Boom, here it is. Check this out. This is what's happening. Just saying.
Absolutely. I see that Dave's got something up on the screen here. Looks like
yeah, can you see it?
It looks like a Trojan horse to me.
Yeah, this is what I don't want to fear monger anybody, but can you see this full screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is a standard 40-foot ship container, and in that ship container is 4 nukes with multiple reentry vehicles on each device. And with the backlog of all those container ships out in the ocean just waiting there,
70 ships.
And the layoff of dock workers who got laid off or fired because of lack of the sleever, I don't think we have enough people to inspect all these containers. And all it takes, they only have to get lucky once. One of these things could do tremendous damage because you're not going to shoot this thing out of the air. By the time you realize it was launched, it already hit. If they're sitting on a ship or they somehow get unloaded and get shipped off somewhere and put into a strategic location. So this is what I'm primarily concerned about. I wouldn't let any of those ships unload anything unless every single one of those containers was double, triple, and quadruple checked. I don't care if they had to drill a hole through the door and put an endoscope in there to see what's in there. But these containers cannot be trusted. Cannot be trusted.
And there's 70 container ships sitting off the coast of California right now. And there's submarines supposedly underneath the water right by them. Mike was talking about that earlier.
Do those missiles have the range of 300 miles? Is that?
Yeah, they're short-range missiles, but if they ship a container into New York City or to one of the large cities and just sit it somewhere in the warehouse,
right?
Or sit somewhere in
a short range.
Yeah.
Or truck stop. By the time they figured out what was going on, they'd set it off.
It would make a really big hole for 300 miles. You know, it's just it's like back in the day we lived so close to a nuclear plant that they're all close enough. If this was the fear. If one of them got hit, it would make a nuclear reaction to the next one, and think about all the gas stations along the way. So it would just, the way they're set up is was not thought right. You know, they didn't plan it right. So that's the one thing. It would take, if the plant by me, 90 miles west of Chicago, if it went off from Byron, Illinois, it would take 2.2 seconds to wipe out the south side of Chicago. It would be so fast you would have no idea. So you imagine those somewhere in an area where that could happen, it could be really catastrophic real fast. You ain't kidding. And how many nuclear power plants we have just sitting around?
Yeah.
It's dangerous. So
I do
not
know,
to fear
I do
nobody,
know.
not to hold on real quick, Mike, not to put fear into people, but you need to know these things, research what I'm saying. Because we specialize in looking at these things and keeping an eye on them. My nephew was a Marines martial art instructor, is the lead security person at the Byron nuclear plant. Fact. That's what he does now. He's the main guy at the nuclear power plant. One of the main guys at the nuclear power plant.
Yeah, and we're dangerous because we know what they think and we know what they're capable of.
Absolutely. And can prove it. That's what the dangerous part is. Not that we don't just know it, we can prove most of it. We know what their game plan is.
I know we've been on 25 of those ships. Not all 70, but 25 of them at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't see how you can inspect a container that's all the way down in the bottom, because once you stack a container up on itself and one next to it, you can't open the door. So the only way to inspect the thing is to drill a hole and put an endoscope in it and see what's in there. It's boxes or nukes.
Hey, real quick,
I mean, I wasn't told that we inspected every container. I just know that we've been on 25 of those ships.
Right. Hey, I got a quick question.
Turned sideways, they took weapons and children off of that one that they ever given that turned sideways in the Suez Canal. And prior to that, the thing drew a big dick in the ocean, and then went up the Suez Canal and turned sideways. And that was a white hat operation, no doubt. They took control of that ship's navigation and said, F you, in the middle of the ocean, and they went up the Suez Canal and turned sideways. Then they boarded the boat and they found all this stuff. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Nobody is reporting that.
Nope.
Nobody reports that.
They don't report a lot of stuff, Dave. We
are
the real news. We're going to tell you what you
we
need
all
to hear.
are the news.
They're too busy with pee-pee hoaxes and fake impeachments. Too big with pee-pee hoaxes. Nobody's reporting on Ghislaine Maxwell on the mainstream media. Not even Fox News is covering
it. Look, me and Dave's been screaming this for 6 years. Look, we're your news. If you want the real news, pay attention. We're going to give it to you. We may not have a suit and tie on. Dave may have a cigarette, but we tell the facts. And I'm going to tell you, I needed to ask you, CHAS, was that a live stream of the White House or a live picture of the White House?
It's a live stream of the White House, yes, sir.
Right now, where's the ribbon that they put up?
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
The ribbon that was right where the big one that I'm speaking of, I guess, the big red one would look like a figure eight.
Yep.
It was it was in between the two columns right
pillars,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just I just noticed it when you showed it. And I'm like, is that live? Because where's that big ribbon they made such a big deal out of? It's gone. It was there for an eye vision for a minute. Now it's gone, right? Okay. Well, I was just curious. I point out.
And every time I see a picture of the White House, I think of all the tunnels and all the kids they dug out of there.
Yep.
And all the smoke and all the crap coming out of the sewers and the smell of chlorine bleach all over the city. Nobody walking around. You know, I go by what Sigourney Weaver said in the movie Aliens. I say we nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Amen on that. Speaking of aliens,
okay,
we were going to be talking about Antarctica a little bit tonight, And it's funny because we have, way I'm able to see who's watching us. We have everything geotagged around the world. And I said a screenshot to Mike, and I think he saw the blue where it homes in on where everybody's watching. And so we must have stirred up a hornet's nest, because now the blue dot has popped up in Antarctica. And this is very interesting. A lot of my audience knows about this. This is a very interesting thing here. Originally, we were going to be talking a lot about Antarctica tonight. I know you guys are probably chock full with it. And by the way, I got to make a retraction from Green. Gene Decode reached out to me, and Gene Decode. I might as well go ahead and say this on air, because I told him I would do it. But
let's do it.
Gene Decode said that. Let me find it. Where's it at?
We love bombshells, bro. That's what we live for.
Yeah, 100%. So he's an alien / non-terrestrial. His exact words that I had to say, because he started laughing, and I was like, I talked to an alien. I think it's when I was talking to you, Mike, about it. It was just hilarious. But he got a kick out of that. He goes, you can't tell everybody I'm an alien. I'm an alien / non-terrestrial. I'm like, okay, got it. Understood.
Okay.
Oh, look at Dallas. What's up, Dallas?
Hey.
What's up, guys?
What's going on?
I am. Let it rip. Let it rip, buddy. Share what you got.
I'm sure you know. Let's go. Go ahead.
Dave shared those containers earlier. Those are called Club K. Okay. Actually, a couple months ago, one was found with a Russian missile in it just recently in Florida. So we monitor those things all the time, because they can be on ships. They can be on trains. That was one of the threats. They were using sniffers from Monkey Works. The helicopters were flying real close and sniffing for radiation contaminants, and they were tracking train tracks. You know, they could be put on a semi truck and then located very, very close. Now, think about this. When those Club K containers, they can reduce the amount of reaction time. So if I put a railroad track and park it close to the Capitol, or I do anything, mass population or a big city, I mean, if it's an internal threat, we have no time to respond. Our systems, we're looking for outside threats coming in, okay? We're watching inside threats. We think the threat will come from within. So I just wanted to add on to that.
Yeah, the threat's been from within ever since they assassinated John F. Kennedy. That's when the United States of America ended right there. And the mainstream media was in bed with them way before then, because nobody could convince people but the mainstream media, because people sat in those days, people trusted the mainstream media. Walter Cronkite, why would he lie? You sit down after a hard day's work, you sit down on the couch, you want to watch the news, and the last thing that crosses your mind is the guy on the TV telling you the news is blowing smoke up your ass. And that's what they've been doing for the last 55 years at least. But now we were the threat. And in 2016, when the Hildebeest lost, when the oven mitt fashionista lost the election in a landslide, she got angry, and she pretended to be angry at us, calling us deplorables. But really what she was angry at is she was angry at her people, at all the people around her who took the election, who rigged the votes and who had all the voting machines. They said to her, "Non-jury, we got this. You stay here." She didn't campaign 2/3 of the time. She was sitting home, sipping her Mai Tais or whatever she's drinking adrenochrome, and sitting there waiting for the election. And then when the election came and she lost, oh my God, she went off the deep end. She went off the deep end because all the plan just fell apart. And they watched that election happen too. They watched it in real time, and they watched 2020 happen in real time. This is 8 years now. This is 8 years of a cut and dry, on videotape, forensically proven, beyond any doubt whatsoever. Forget about reasonable doubt and beyond the moral certainty. This is absolute empirical, proven, beyond any doubt whatsoever, that this apparency of a human being committed treason time after time after time after time. And then she's still walking around on the news crying about reading her fake acceptance. Oh, I told my mother. If she was in the room today, if she was here right there, I'd grab her by the neck and I'd smack the piss out of her. That's the way I feel.
That's a very good way of feeling.
Tell us how you really feel, Dave.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Now we were talking about the other night, Mike.
Gene Decode.
Yep, we were talking about that, but we were also talking about Florida. We were talking about Space Force being activated.
Yes.
The Florida Guard. That's something huge. And it's been tight-lipped. Seriously, like when you first told us, it's like, hey, check into this, see if you can find something, on this as well. We found pretty much the same thing. What you're speaking of. There's something there. I mean, obviously, Florida being depleted because they sent all of their guard, and of course they have the Florida Guard. That's what the article, I guess, was about. Was talking about how DeSantis is having to do this now. They activated Space Force. Perfect timing, right?
That's exactly right.
I mean, it's
a lot of people, we will get to see Space Force in action during the cleanup of this mess, but a lot of people are unaware that they've also been with the special ops and taking care of a lot of this stuff going on behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And that's probably part of the reason why it's so hush hush is there, there's very few that are privy to any of that. The activation came without knowledge of orders. That's all we could get out of the whole situation so far. There's going to be more to come, and I'm sure I'll be sharing that with y'all, Chaz. But until we either dig it and find it, there's going to be more to come from where we got it from. And I think time's short on that, but again, it's the most that's been shared with me for a while now. I mean, it's been a tight lip. Everything we've been sharing is stuff we've been digging, not because it was leaked out like it used to be or it was a Q drop. A lot of people thought the Q drops would pick up again maybe on this past Sunday, a year and 4 days since he last posted.
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely. I'll tell you this as well. With that, and you think about what Monkey Works was talking about with all the refuelers that are above the state of Florida, lots of squadrons patrolling Florida heavily today. There's a reason for that. I don't know, obviously that's not my wheelhouse per se. Okay. But, obviously Mark Works knows his stuff. I know you guys have talked briefly about it. Ties in with Florida. And not only that, but it also ties in, what was it? We're hearing about the carriers that are going out to sea.
Yes.
And, they plan on, obviously protecting something, doing something. I mean, what are you thinking?
I am. Where you at with that?
Okay. All other ports are closed but Florida. So think of it logically. Container ships, the only place they can get into the Americas is through Florida. That's why we got our eye on it so close, because we're scanning this. We've got abilities to X-ray every container coming in and going out of this country. You know, whether we do it or not, whether we use our inspectors, that's another story. We have the ability, you know. So I think Florida, because we're defeating them at their own game, right? We know the ships are stuck in outside in our oceans, you know, sitting there, you know, tethered because of the executive order Trump wrote. Anybody with a voter fraud, they're not coming in. They're not trading with the U.S. Okay, but we still need to keep a supply chain running, and I think that gateway is through Florida. You know, that's why we see all the activity. We see all the stuff happening there. You know, and Florida's another hot zone. You know.
One more thing
California.
I need to say.
Watch California.
I need to say one more thing. There's a lot of military airplanes and military helicopters and stuff in California right now. I got a bunch of screenshot images from one of my researchers, but didn't give me a bio on how it's actually laid out. Just a little brief because we were fixing to go live. And I need to get with him to tell everybody exactly what the pictures mean. It's crazy how many military aircrafts are in the air right now. It's crazy, going from Guantanamo Bay to these different places. It's just unreal. But I can't put it together because we went live. So I'm working on it.
Talk about California and Florida. I'll speak to Florida first and kind of piggyback on what I am talking about. Florida is largely red, all right? But there's 3 large counties that are blue. And not to depict, you know, Democrat or Republican in this, but the Broward County is one of the most corrupt counties in the country, all right? It might be time to clean that up is while we're seeing those activities in Florida.
There's a lot going on.
There sure is.
That's a herd. That's what we were talking about. Yeah, it's huge. It's a huge air presence. It's huge.
And again, this is just showing. This is where I like track my satellite.
We got teammates that just specialize in that, like, you know, same stuff. We just, yeah. But to be able to explain it and be able to on the spot say exactly what's happening with it and how it's working, I haven't got the details yet. So, but yeah, it's huge. The presence of military planes and helicopters is all over the map right now. And the same person that actually covers this for our team is the same one that is researching the hot air balloons too, the balloons, the weather balloons and stuff. So as soon as we got it, we'll get it to you guys. We just don't know the story, just how it's put out the way he's researched it. So I didn't have time.
I will tell you that the rain in California recently is a blessing to them because we were getting ready to have another fire season.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Absolutely. What y'all's thoughts on La Palma so far and how it's really erupted? We just recently had that earthquake. In Indonesia? It was a super duper one. It was a pretty big one. I think Dallas, you and I were talking about that briefly in the show.
Yeah, I was curious. What do you got? You got anything to add with what we were saying, Dallas, on these points too?
I mean, just I not put it through that Florida has got Florida has the only open ports. That makes a whole lot of sense. But it's also, I mean, so many things are running through Florida as it is, right? I mean, Truth Network and Rumble is moving, you know, Rumble is connecting with Truth and they're moving down there. And
who called that? We did.
Yeah. So Florida is really becoming, you know, kind of a main hub and everything, you know, and I've been reading for years that Miami is going to become the new Wall Street, right? That Wall Street as we know it is going to kind of cease to exist. And all of the big traders and all the big, investment firms are moving down to Miami. So Florida is really kind of setting itself up to be a huge player in just the new, or modern America. So it totally makes sense. I'd not really put all those pieces together until you said what you said tonight. So thanks.
Yeah, well, Florida should not make itself, a target by putting all the eggs in one basket. That's Wall Street. When you hit Wall Street, you hit the money. But you see, if I was a terrorist on 9/11, the last thing I'd do was hit the towers. Not that any planes hit the towers, but give them the benefit of the doubt and say, yeah, the planes hit the towers. Wouldn't it be better? Here it is, the beginning of the winter. It was a nice day, September 11, 2001, but the cold weather was not far behind. So why not hit the oil refineries and the oil tanks next to Newark Airport? You'd knock out the airport, you'd knock out the oil, you'd knock out the freeways, you'd knock out everything. People in the cities would starve to death.
Right, but that would take longer.
That wasn't a terrorist attack. That was an attack because it was a gold heist. It was the trade centers were taken down to cover up a gold heist.
You got it.
And then Building 7 was taken down to take down all the records because Giuliani had his emergency services in there. They had the Wall Street live ticker archive in there, and that had to be taken down to cover up who shorted the airline stocks the day before 9/11. Right. And Larry Silverstein, who ate breakfast every morning in Windows at work, every morning, had a dentist appointment that day. What a coinky dink, huh? What a coinky dink.
Well, we researched real fast. I just touched on this. We researched also in Building 7 was a massive collection of videotapes. Am I wrong, Dave? Massive collection.
Well, right.
And we literally had access to them videotapes, some of them. And it literally will turn your stomach what the videotapes consist of. It's disgusting what they used for leverage and the reason Building 7 had to go down. But there is copies of the videotapes. Ain't there, HRC? Because I'm sure your cabinet is watching us to keep an eye on what we're saying. There is video tapes proving what I'm saying. Isn't there, HRC? Go ahead.
Yeah. Tell you something else, Stoney. For people who haven't been on my BitChute channel, I know for a fact and have it on personal word of mouth from a friend I know for 30 years who works in one police plaza who saw part of the frazzle drip tape. So I don't need to see it to verify that it exists. I have a friend who has nothing to do with social media who works in one police plaza, was one of 4 people who survived. 20 people saw that tape up in one police plaza, including the chief of police. Mm-hmm. And if you remember, the chief of police threatened that if the FBI doesn't arrest this oven mitt fashionista, that he would release the tape, and nothing happened.
Right.
Why? They get to him too?
Yes.
Well, I can tell you this. All I know is it does exist. We know people that have seen it for sure, but it goes so much deeper than that. They use these children. I'm going to try to say this nicest, easiest way I can, to make sure that they do exactly what they want them to do. If not, they will be exposed for doing these things with these children.
And if you have any doubt, I know they're listening, Stoney.
Yes,
they definitely
they've been watching us forever. That's why.
If you think I'm lying, if you think I'm committing libel and slander, then please go to your lawyer and ask him to file papers and sue me.
Yep.
Sue me. Because when you sue me, I get discovery.
Discovery, baby.
And then when I ask the question, I already know the answer to the question I'm going to ask. And if you lie to me, I will flip you like a hamburger at IHOPs.
You ain't kidding. Look,
Hey,
this is huge. And nobody talks about it. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. I've got a comment from a Patriot, Ghost Patriot 71. He's out of Wilmington, North Carolina. Says, I'm on the port, and the port's open. He says he has a friend that is a terminal operator in charge, and they are at normal capacity. Says, I was on the port last week. There is a lot of military presence. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Mike, you had talked about submarines, or there were ships or submarines. I think you mentioned.
Yes, there's submarines off the coast of North Carolina, both at the border, north and south. Okay, it is being talked about in the back channels as the possibility to set up rods of God to dump the White House. That submarine that's there at the top of the border of North Carolina will be the one to take out the White House.
Yep. It's being talked about on the back chance. Yep. You're right. Heavy. That's heavy traffic, big news on the back chance right now.
So, with that being said, we're building even closer. They're going to blame it on China, and it's going to be part of the Caribbean, I believe.
Mike, did you cover the whole point of China and Russia and Israel?
Yeah, we kind of covered through all that. IM did a real good job of that.
Right. But what about the threat to Russia or to China from Russia? Did you cover that too? I must have been setting up if you did. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't cover that. I don't have enough.
Okay. Well, you know what?
Right.
Just say it's your opinion and kind of give a little dangle out there, because that way we can get the researchers to jump on and feed back to us in our Telegram live groups. We can get more clarity on it. Go ahead, if you would, please. Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
My opinion is, Putin is the first one to clear out the cabal banking system from Russia. He did it a couple years ago, and he announced it publicly. And China is still upset about it. And they're probably going to retaliate, and that might be built into Xi backstabbing Trump, which is being talked about heavily too in their peace deal, and how all this is going to play out. So my opinion is that China and Xi might not come out of this as clean as they had hoped to. And that Putin's going to stick it to somebody's ass over there if they continue.
Absolutely. Yep. And it's really being talked about, Mike. This is on the back chance being heavily trafficked, but we don't have verified information yet. But it's coming. Heads up, people.
A lot of information's coming. We're just trying to see which direction it's going to go in, because we got the general area.
Well,
it's just
if you stop and think about it just a second, guys, and you really think about big picture, it's if they're going to pull this Scarabin off, it's opportunity for somebody to really stick their nose in and do some damage.
That's right. You're right. You know, a lot of people tell me from my little groups say that they have to go back and watch because we drop information and videos that may not be in the same place as what we're talking about, and that's a fact. We drop little bits of information throughout, so a lot of people, if you don't catch it, you go back, and if you're looking for a specific thing, you could hear our opinion on it. Just saying that. Sorry about that. Let me mute.
Sorry, they're coming for you, Stoney.
I live in a big city on a major corner, so give me a second.
No worries. Hey, I was going to go ahead and let's kind of start wrapping up on this. I think tonight's been a phenomenal show. Dallas, I appreciate you. I know, man, you were talking for 2 freaking hours solid when the Angel Warrior Network, I heard it was a lot of people were tuned in to it. So I appreciate you bouncing on. You look wore out, bro.
I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed early tonight, man. I haven't slept. I've been running too hard on both ends, so I'm gonna get some rest. But man, I'm just glad to jump on and hang out with you guys, and I appreciate all you do.
We appreciate you too, brother. We thank you for jumping in. Hey, can I ask a quick question? I gotta ask. So how's that honker doing there, buddy?
Well, I got to sit in a kind of a med bed on Thursday. You know, it was gosh, what's it called?
Dude, it's not even there anymore.
A beamer mat.
Yeah.
It's not even there anymore.
I know, it's gone.
That's amazing.
I mean, it literally healed in about 24 hours. It was crazy.
I watched your video on it, and I was like, man, that's crazy.
Right?
And then yesterday, IM came in and showed everybody the med beds and how it's working and what's going on, straight from General Michael Flynn.
Yep.
So yeah,
it's
amazing.
It's nutty, man. I mean, it's not even what you guys. I mean, it's not even what IM showed on the show last night. It's just kind of energy, you know, and kind of magnetic pulses and stuff. And so, I mean, if that can do that,
vibrations.
Yeah, it's what's coming is going to be nuts, man. It's going to be absolutely crazy.
Well, the honker's looking good anyway, buddy. Congratulations.
Thanks, brother.
You got it. It's looking good. Keep up the good work.
Well, guys, I'll go ahead and just say, hey, let's just want to everyone thank you so much for joining us tonight. Guys, you need to check out Stoney's channel. Stoney, Mike, Dave, and IM. Won't you guys promote, let everybody know where they can find everybody? So,
well, they can find me on Telegram, and they can find me on my backup channel right now on YouTube. It is Stoney Cold Hard Truth, right? Sleeping with the Enemy, and then my main channel's Stoney Stone Black Vault News. I hopefully can have it up tomorrow running. Oh, Sleeping with the Enemy, Stone Cold Truth is my backup channel, and my Telegram, we have a live 24-hour chat that I keep running because researchers jump in there and talk to everybody and bounce things around. So right now that's what we got, and we're on every social media platform. So just look up Stoney Stone. You should be able to find me. Thank you, CHAS.
What's the name of that Telegram channel?
It's Stoney Stone BVN, Black Vault News, and then it's Stoney and Company. It's a live chat. It's Stoney and Company, but it's Stoney Stone BVN, Stoney and Company, because that's what we call ourselves. We're Stoney and Company team, I guess. I'll let them all have a vote on it, and that's what we come up with. That's what we call ourselves, Stoney and Company. So should be able to find it.
Mike, you're no stranger.
No, sir. Legacy Marketing Network, Truth Seeker Chat, Truth Seeker 88 Chat, powered by Legacy Marketing Network. Truth Seeker 88 being the chat being the Telegram channel, Legacy Marketing Network being the YouTube channel, and then my personal Facebook page, where we average about 4,000 people a night there, just on Facebook. And that's growing a little bit, but the Legacy channel is just off the charts. And then Telegram, if we open it to the public, we'd be run over.
Ain't that the truth? Dave, where can they find you, brother?
Well, my main channel right now is on BitChute, bitshoot.com/net4TruthUSA, and I'm on Rumble under Inglorious Patriots, and also on their tube under Inglorious Patriots. You have to put a number out after it. I'm on number 29, working on 30. I got 32 or 34 channels deleted off of their tube. I probably heard first or second in line with the Guinness Book of World Records of people who were thrown off of YouTube because I speak truth and I hold no punches, and I don't care if you like me or not.
You gonna get it this Monday.
Amen, brother.
And I am. Where can they find you, good sir?
Well, after 22 channels being deleted, I have not produced one. So I jump into Stoney's chat
Okay.
and just drop some bombs in there and just follow along.
Absolutely. And we're glad to have
tired
you,
of being
brother.
deleted off the internet.
That's awesome.
It's
That's
our
where I'm
honor to host you, brother. You are a good researcher, and you drop major bombs, like all my people do. So thank everybody.
Yeah, you're welcome on mine as well anytime.
I appreciate
Likewise
it.
across the board.
Thank you, Chad, for having us.
Yeah,
Man,
bro.
it's a pleasure.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you. You got everybody get some rest, and we'll be hard at it again.
That's what we do.
We'll talk to you. Thanks again, guys, for everybody coming over. Great show. Thank you.
You're
God
very
bless.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chaz. Thank you, Dallas. Good to see you.
y'all.
Good to see
Thank you,
you.
Chaz.
Thank you, guys.
Dry.
See ya.